Hi, I'm Maria, the owner and designer of Prapatti props. I'd like to give you just a little bit of insight into the props on the market for the seated meditation pose. I would love to spare you all the time, money, and energy that I spent when I first started meditative practices 28 years ago so that you can dive into your practices a lot quicker and spending a whole lot less. Okay, so on the market, we have the standard Zafu. We've all seen it in beautiful fabrics, in variety of diameters, but pretty standard that these props are usually about 5 inches in height and typically filled with buckwheat, which I personally did not like. I felt like with the movement inside of my body, because we do have slight energetic movement when we're meditating, did not stabilize my body. That's a personal thing. This prop does work for some people, especially those with really tight hips. The other product is the Zen bench that I'm sitting on. The Zen bench usually comes, and there's so many different ones on the market, but they typically come with this slant. That causes the spine to move in an unnatural position forward. For some people, that could be an advantage, especially if you have really tight hips and or back. But I will say the Prapatti props offers a better overall positional alignment because the height of the prop should bring the spine up and allow the leg bones to move down without unnaturally tilting the spine forward. They're also designed with it's flat on both sides. So, and mind you, it is storming outside while I film this. So if you hear thunder and hail, that's what's going on. Okay, so the Prapatti prop is different in that it comes in 7 different heights. The Prapatti prop was designed while I was helping to prepare 13 individuals to head off to a traditional 3-year Buddhist retreat. That clip is another lengthy story in itself, and I'll allow you to explore that if you're interested. It utilized my understanding of the biomechanics of the body as well as my own personal experience with the seated meditation pose and developed this product. So the Prapatti prop comes in 7 different heights. It starts at 5 and moves down in height by half-inch increments, because even a half-inch can mean the world of difference between your body struggling and surrendering. So we go 5, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2. I already know at what height my body moves into the most optimally aligned position. I'm going to take the 2.5-inch prop and I'm going to place it so that my sit bones sit smack dab on top of this so that I'm not forward leaning, and that the heel of my foot moves right into this notch so that I can, and actually let me show you with my hands because that's going to be important. So it takes the head of the femur bone. So imagine this is my leg bone, this is my knee, this is my hip area. So it moves the head of the femur bone into the hip joint and allows the knee to surrender and move down towards the earth. By bringing the foot as close to the pelvic floor as possible, I compact my sitting position. Unfortunately, with the Zafu, it's round. So bringing the foot in close to the pelvic floor isn't as available as with the Prapatti prop because of its shape. Yes, it's a cute little shaped product, but it does serve an overall function. The angled edges of the prop also lend in moving the head of the femur bone into the hip joint because it does not cut into the back side of the leg. So when I'm sitting, the leg bone is allowed to move towards the earth. Whereas with this prop, the leg bone might end up having a bit of an issue in moving down to the earth because it's round. And so if you're sitting smack dab on top of it, that round surface is cutting into the backside of your leg. This one in particular is a little bit smaller in diameter, so that's actually quite helpful. But the majority of them are quite sizable. So if you are going to invest in a Zafu, go with something with a smaller diameter. I hope that in this clip I have shed light, a little bit of light, because I could talk for an hour on this topic, about some of the difference between what's on the market, the Zafu and the Zen bench, as it relates to the overall superior functionality of the Prapatti prop. I'm not going to knock this because it does suit some individuals with really tight hips, but I guarantee you'll find it even better structural hold and comfort with a Prapatti prop, especially if you do the work to discover at what height your body moves into that sweet spot. I do have longer clips on my website to explain how to use books and magazines to determine that sweet spot. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please do not hesitate to comment on this post or reach out to me directly. I want more people sitting peacefully in the meditative practice, so it is my mission to continue to offer solutions to the meditative pose.